Now, there's no doubt that Donald Trump loves his new job, and holy cow, are things getting done in record speed. I think this is unprecedented. I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime, that's for sure. Getting things done. Now, his colleagues on the world stage don't seem to have the same philosophy as him, namely the governor of the great state of Canada, Justin Trudeau, with the philosophy of, instead of boots on the ground, promise to fund things way into the future. Ladies and gents, welcome back. Happy Friday. Looking forward to seeing you tonight in the live stream at 6:30 Pacific time or 9:30 Eastern. Don't forget to tune into that. And we'll see a bunch of you in Squamish, BC. Marty and I are having a meetup on Saturday, the 25th. Come on out. It's at the Shady Tree Pub in Squamish, and around 6 o'clock we'll be there. It'll be a lot of fun. But let's get into this. NATO is in the news because, well, NATO is constantly with their hands out saying, we need more funding for all of these wars that we want to have and security, whatever they do at NATO. I think it's time for them to have an audit, perhaps. Now, Donald Trump is jumping in on this and saying, hey, perhaps we shouldn't be the ones footing the bill for this all the time. President Donald Trump, I'm also going to ask all NATO nations to increase defense spending to 5% of GDP, which is what it should have been for years. It should have been like this years ago. Here's what he had to say.
Finally, as we restore common sense in America, we're moving quickly to bring back strength and peace and stability abroad. I'm also going to ask all NATO nations to increase defense spending to 5% of GDP, which is what it should have been years ago. It was only at 2%, and most nations didn't pay until I came along. I insisted that they pay, and they did, because the United States was really paying the difference at that time, and it was unfair to the United States. But many, many things have been unfair for many years to the United States.
Now, looking at this, how unfair has it been? Well, considerably unfair. Holy cow, the massive amount of revenue coming into native, I don't know, the graph, I mean, just look at it. The United States, $860 billion US going into NATO, while all these other states are just kind of going along for the ride. Canada with a sliver over there in the corner. Oh, there it is, $29 billion. That's how much they've put into it. Now, can Canadians afford to do this with our economy in the tanks? This may be difficult, but Donald Trump saying, hey, you know, perhaps is it on the table to pull out of NATO entirely? I don't know, but they're saying this has got to happen. Now, he reiterated this when he was signing executive orders, or at the Oval Office desk anyway. Basically, just reiterating this fact. It wasn't some gaffe, or it wasn't some slip up to say this, or it was obviously intentional in that speech. But here he is.
Established forum again that NATO countries should spend 5% of GDP on defense. Yeah. The United States don't spend 5%.
Well,
Do you think it should also apply to the United States?
We're protecting them, you know. They're not protecting us, we're protecting them. So I don't think we should be spending, I'm not sure we should be spending anything, but we should certainly be helping them. But they should up their 2% to 5%, yeah.
Not sure if we should be spending anything, as he says. Yeah, is that an indication that they might pull out? Who knows? Only time will tell. Actually, it won't be that much time because things are happening fast, unbelievably. And where are things not happening all that quick? Well, here in Canada, that's right. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau asked to respond to Trump's demand that NATO countries need to increase their defense spending to 5%.
Countries should spend 5% on defense. Can you address his comments, please?
Over the past number of years, we brought Canada's defense spending up from below 1%, where it was under the previous Conservative government, to a path towards full 2% in the coming years. We have close to tripled projected defense spending since 2015, and we're going to continue to work with our NATO partners to make sure that we're doing everything necessary to keep Canada safe. The next NATO meeting is in Netherlands in The Hague, but Canada has a strong track to invest in protecting the North, protecting Canadians in a complicated
Is
world.
5% unrealistic? Is it unrealistic?
So the idea is we've increased projections into the future. I mean, it's sometimes it's not easy to catch all of the things that are being said. It happens in a big rush of, okay, all this information is getting out there. But he clearly said we've increased projections of increases. It's just promises to pay things way into the future. But this is the reality. This is what Trudeau has been doing on a myriad of issues. He famously did this recently with the border crisis. Now, Donald Trump has come forward and he said, I'm serious about this. I want things done at the border or you're going to have to face tariffs. And obviously for good reason, Canadians are saying, do something about this. Let's have some serious dialogue. Here's Donald Trump reiterating just how serious he is.
Tariffs on Canada and Mexico in an effort to force negotiations sooner on USMCA?
No, it's really and not on USMCA. It has nothing to do with that. They've allowed both of them, Canada very much so. They've allowed millions and millions of people to come into our country that shouldn't be here. They could have stopped them, and they didn't. And they've killed 300,000 people last year. My opinion have been destroyed by fentanyl. The fentanyl coming through Canada is massive. The fentanyl coming through Mexico is massive. And people are getting killed and families are being destroyed. I mean, the son gets killed. The family is a basket case for the rest of their lives. I mean, I've seen mothers that thought they'd heal. They never heal. They say it gets worse with time. It gets worse with time. They lose their boy. They lose their baby. They lose their young daughter to poisoning. And I had that talk with President Xi the other day, too, of China. I said, we don't want that crap in our country. We got to stop it. I would have stopped it. I had a deal with him where he was going to give the maximum penalty, which in China is the penalty for dealing. And he was all said he was going to give the maximum penalty to fentanyl dealers if they send to the United States. They were going to get the penalty. And of course, Biden didn't pick that up. I had that deal all done. It was all wrapped up. We were going to have it done. And then the election went, let's put it nicely, didn't go the proper way. I'm trying to be nice about it. It was rigged. And we had an incompetent president elected, and he never followed up on that deal. But he should have followed up, because if they got the death penalty, they wouldn't be sending fentanyl to Mexico, Canada, and other places.
Yeah, no kidding. Absolutely.
How much will the
We're thinking about that too.
There wouldn't be a lot of people jumping into that business if it had such severe consequences. Now, in Canada, what are we doing about this whole situation? Well, here's Justin Trudeau.
President Trump also repeated his concerns about the border. While less than 1% of fentanyl and illegal immigrants that enter the United States come from Canada.
So that's absolutely false. But of course, he's going to make these claims.
Our government has already acted to address the concerns raised by the president about border security with an over $1 billion comprehensive border plan. We're already working collaboratively to keep our citizens safe on both sides of the border.
Oh, really? What have you done? You're promising to pay for stuff well into the future? Cool, right? He allocated money towards a plan. Yay! Wait, didn't he also do that about poverty, housing, inflation, debt, crime, and a bunch of myriad of other things? Yeah, I wonder why Trump isn't convinced. Here we are in Canada. They made a plan back in December 17th of 2024 when they heard about all of this stuff. Canada's border plan, backed by an investment of $1.3 billion and built around 5 pillars. This plan will bolster border security, strengthen our immigration system, and contribute to ensuring Canada's future prosperity. Is it really? I mean, this is just another plan like all the other plans. What are we going to do for housing? We're going to build a catalog of things that people can look through and go, hey, look at that. Wouldn't it be nice to have a house? I mean, here's one on paper in front of me. No, this is the trend of Trudeau's government. This is what Trudeau has been doing for a number of years. He promises to do things, spends a bunch of money in just hope that the people who are getting that money will actually do the things that were being purported to try to achieve. And it turns out a lot of those things don't actually happen. A lot of the money that they funnel into these things, they just turn into slush funds. We don't want our border security to turn into a slush fund. That is what is happening here. And, Donald Trump is just not convinced. And so because of that, because there's no real action, we may be facing tariffs from the U.S. government. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And of course, tune into the live stream tonight at 6:30 Pacific or 9:30 Eastern time, depending on what time zone you happen to be in. We'll see you then. Keep on trucking.